Dear viewers, immigration rules are frequently changing, which is very important for migrant community and all of us. Why won't the world tackle the refugee crisis? Are the High Court judges under pressure by government policy? How deporting people silently? Why immigration detention center misbehaves with detainees? Is the immigration enforcement used by government lawfully? How immigrants are victim of domestic violence? What will be the UK relationship with the European Union after Brexit? Fear spreads. Protests across the world. We should know the reality. I try to collect all the latest immigration news regularly. If you like this video, please stay with us to follow my Facebook page and YouTube channel, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share with your friends. Let's go to the news. UK watchdog criticises treatment of deportees on charter flights. First annual report from Watchdog covering charter flight deportations raises concerns over use of force and restraint. The monitoring board was set up after the death of Jimmy Mubinga, who suffocated after being restrained by 3 G4S security guards during his enforced removal from Britain. The enforced removal of some people from Britain on escorted chartered flights falls short of humane treatment, with some leaving the country in waist restraint belts or leg restraints almost as a default, according to an official watchdog. A man locked in handcuffs who escaped from immigration officials has been caught. The absconder fled the scene following a raid on Fairfield Road in Droylsden on Wednesday morning. Immigration officers had been taking their man, who is from Ghana, into custody when he managed to break free. He was spotted a short time later near the Canal Bridge by Madison Road. Pembrokeshire ex-soldier wins UK visa bid but wife still waits. Fijian father Sam Kataki, who served in the British Army for 12 years, said he was still awaiting news of his wife Saini's application. Mr. Kataki, 36, who lives in Neyland, Pembrokeshire, lost his job last month after his application was refused. He was later told he could work again while his case was considered by the Home Office. Businesses face fines of £100,000 for employing illegal workers. 2 Surrey businesses could be fined with penalties totaling £100,000 after 5 illegal workers were discovered at the premises. Immigration enforcement officers visited Leatherhead's JD Food and Wine and Red Hills Rushita restaurant on Tuesday, July 4th. A 36-year-old Indian man with an outstanding immigration application was escorted from the JD Food and Wine premises after officers visited at 4 p.m. Rushita was visited at 6:45 p.m. and 2 men from Bangladesh, aged 28 and 29, who had overstayed their visas were arrested and have been detained pending their removal from the UK. A further 2 Bangladeshi men, aged 29 and 45, who have outstanding immigration applications, which do not entitle them to work, were escorted from the premises. Campaigners hit out after immigration brothel raids. Sex work campaigners have slammed police and government officials after 3 Romanian women were arrested in town centre brothels last week. According to police, 2 houses in Valleyside, off Kings Hill, and Stafford Street, off Eastcote Hill, were raided on Thursday at 8:45 p.m. 3 Romanian women, aged 18, 21 and 28 were detained at the Valleyside house by immigration officers for failing to exercise their treaty rights as required by EU law. When someone is sleeping rough, they need help, not deportation. Deporting people like Tofil and Marinata when they have been reduced to sleeping on the streets shows utter contempt for fellow human beings. Last week, The High Court was the scene of a small but significant victory. North East London Migrant Action, NELMA, and the Public Interest Law Unit were granted permission to seek a judicial review of the Home Office policy of deporting rough sleepers from the European Economic Area, and are now crowdfunding to finance the bid. Chinese takeaway in Cavachon faces huge fine after immigration raid. A Chinese takeaway in Cavachon faces a £60,000 fine after 3 of its employees were arrested by immigration enforcement officers. Officers raided Go Sing, in Prospect Street at around 6 p.m. on Monday, July 3 after being tipped off. The Home Office says a 36-year-old Chinese woman, who was an illegal entrant, and a 39-year-old Malaysian woman, who overstayed her visa, have been detained. They are now facing deportation. A 56-year-old Chinese man, who was also an illegal entrant, has been ordered to report to immigration enforcement regularly while his case is progressed. Full amnesty for Grenfell illegal immigrants, says Abbott. The Labour MP Diane Abbott has said that illegal immigrants who escaped from the Grenfell Tower inferno should get a full amnesty. According to the Evening Standard, the Shadow Home Secretary said the government's offer to let those directly affected by the fire stay in the UK for 12 months regardless of their immigration status did not go far enough, leaving survivors and their relatives frightened of seeking help. 2 men arrested during immigration raids at the Taste of Raj and the Golden Galleon. 2 men were arrested for overstaying their visas during separate immigration raids at an Indian restaurant and a fish and chip shop in Hereford. An Indian restaurant was forced to close for the night, after an immigration raid left the business with no staff. Investigators swooped on Cloves Indian restaurant and discovered 3 employees who had no right to work in the UK. The raid was carried out at the restaurant, in Ashbourne Road, Bottom House, near Leek, at 6:30 p.m. on Thursday. Top Belfast-born doctor is accused of keeping immigrant as sex slave. An Ulster-born doctor has been accused of sexually abusing a Chinese immigrant and forcing her into years of manual labor at his flat on New York's swanky Fifth Avenue. A lawsuit has been filed against Dr. Derek Inlander by Hong Xiao Wang, 57, a former beauty parlor employee, according to the New York Post newspaper. The Guardian view on the return of the migrant boats, Europe's problem. There have been at least 2,000 drownings already this year. This is a moment for the revived EU to show some solidarity. Coroner calls for changes to treatment of child refugees after death of teenager. Inquest into death of Mohammed Hassan, 17, how he was held by British officials in France before died under lorry as he tried to reach UK. There have been at least 3 deaths of unaccompanied minors on UK soil in the last 3 years and at least 9 children have died in France on dangerous journeys attempting to enter the UK. Even the IMF says austerity doesn't work. It's the zombie idea that will not die. Politicians say that it's sound finance, when in fact it's a tool used to demonize immigrants and profit from working-class concerns. Malcolm Turnbull to be awarded UK Prize for Immigration Programme. British think tank praises Prime Minister for non-discriminatory policies helping to make Australia a land of opportunity. Malcolm Turnbull will be awarded a prize for maintaining Australia's non-discriminatory immigration programme. The Disraeli Prize, awarded by the British centre-right think tank Policy Exchange, is named for Britain's first Prime Minister from a minority background, Benjamin Disraeli. Turnbull will receive the award from the British Home Secretary, Amber Rudd, on Monday in Westminster. Prime Minister Turnbull has maintained a strong non-discriminatory immigration programme helping to make Australia a land of opportunity for peoples from all around the world, the Policy Exchange said. He has also emphasised the importance of immigrants in Australia integrating successfully into the country's mainstream, by acknowledging and respecting the predominant values of Australian life and society. Thank you for staying with me. See you in the next video.